this was the week where the Department of Justice finally came for our boy, George Santos, with 13 counts of money laundering, fraud, a bunch of stuff. It finally happened. He's just a man. My favorite. A sweater vest never looked better. So there, George Santos. Let's go into actually what he's being indicted for. According to the indictment, he used a political consultant to seek donations to a company he falsely claimed was a political fund in support of his campaign. Prosecutors say he used the money instead for personal expenses, including designer clothes and credit card payments. The indictment says Mr. Santos falsely portrayed the company as a nonprofit in order to, have an exemption from caps on campaign fundraising. Donors were told their money would be used to buy television advertising. Instead, the funds were transferred to Mr. Santos's personal account. They were used to make cash withdrawals, personal purchases of luxury designer clothing, credit card payments, a car payment, and payments on personal debts. Okay, but counterpoint, you have to look fly if you're gonna run and somehow win your congressional seat. Oh my God, Republicans will vote for anything, and Long Islanders especially.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta great point. You gotta be out of debt to hold public office. I mean, college debt repayment is a scourge on the country. However, everyone running for public office should have all of their debts paid by the people who want to vote for them. Sounds ethical to me. It sounds highly ethical.
Yeah.
I also am look into any Democrat or Republican campaign, and I bet you it is a wash in this right now, because it is running. I feel like running for public office is one of the most lucrative things you can do these days.
Oh yeah.
Well, you used to put most people under, and now it's this is a business.
And he admitted as much to his roommate. I don't know if you remember that. He was like, well, the best place for me is just office, because they really let you do anything, and I can make hand over fist money. And you're totally right. He is, look, I'm sure others have not been as egregious, but there is a flavor to this story that's okay, boo, but you got to earn that right to defraud people. You know what I mean? You can't defraud them just out the gate,
But he's proving that you can, actually.
No, exactly. And that's why they're coming for him, which is the other thing that he did. And again, we can compare this to current politicians, but he actually filed for unemployment benefits as part of the COVID relief program. He received nearly $25,000, even though he worked in an investment firm, and was on a salary of $120,000 at the time. And yeah, if he actually is found guilty, he can face 20 years in prison, according to the U.S. Department of Justice, for all this. The GOP in New York, 6 out of 10 Republicans in New York want him to resign. He's not resigning, River. He is doubling down. In fact, this was what he had to say in his are they Prada? Are they Gucci? I don't know, but very designer glasses.
The reality is it's a witch hunt, because it makes no sense that in 4 months, 5 months, I'm indicted. You have Joe Biden's entire family receiving deposits from nine family members receiving money from foreign destinations into their bank accounts. It's been years of exposing. A lot of you here have reported on them, and yet no investigation is launched into them. I'm going to fight. I'm getting back to that. I'm going to fight my battle. I'm going to deliver. I'm going to fight the witch hunt. I'm going to take care of clearing my name, and I look forward to doing that.
I mean, you just can watch the game. He's just what catchphrase from Trump do I use right now? Which thing do I say? I just listening to everybody boo. That was pretty incredible.
Yeah, he's isn't this all just paint by numbers? Isn't that what you're supposed to do if you want to be a Republican politician? I'm trying to paint the numbers.
I'm following the playbook. What more do you want from me?
What do you want from me? Witch hunt. Go away. This is a witch hunt. And here he is just the other day. Oh no, today, in fact, this is Tuesday, the 16th. Here he is. He's doing good congressional work of a good Republican. He got all the talking points. written in front of him.
Just last month, 2 CCP spies were arrested and 36 CCP police officers were charged with operating an illegal and secret police station in New York City. The 2 alleged CCP spies only to be quickly granted bail and released from custody. In 2020, leaked CCP member data confirmed that U.S. companies such as Boeing, Qualcomm, and Pfizer had employed dozens of CCP members in their Chinese facilities. Rightfully so, Americans are infiltrated, blaming ivory towers in Washington, D.C. and Wall Street for being slow to punch and handing our fragile dominion over to globalists.
Thank you. I read the entire word cloud of a Republican, and thank you for listening to my book report. The CCCCPPP.
Look, I can spot one because I've done it. That is a person who did not read through what they were going to read on the floor at all before he was like, I got it. And then did you see him laughing at himself?
Yes, exactly. If you're just like, listening, there's a moment. It's the best part. I love that you picked up on that, because that's exactly the best part.
Can I just say, I was hosting an awards show once, and they didn't give me the well, it wasn't like televised. It was just like a whatever. It was a queer thing. And cool. They had the teleprompters, and I think they gave me the opportunity to read through the thing. And I was like, no, I'll be fine. And then I introduced someone so poorly that I was just like, in that moment, I was like, I made a huge mistake because I just didn't practice the way I should say it.
Like, no, exactly. Oh my God. I do that all the time. You're just like, I can wing it. But you're like, no. Dominion it's a noun in this case. And the dominion,
like his whole thing is I'm winging it. Like that's it's so clear that this guy is just like winging it through every moment and like just in it to make money. Like just admit it.
He is.
It's like not a big deal.
And I mean,
you're gonna maybe go to jail, but admit it.
And okay, so update, Kevin McCarthy, of course, not asking George Santos to resign. Clearly, as you saw, George Santos not resigning. McCarthy said he's not going to support him for re-election, but he just wants that sort of warm body to, like cast a yes vote. And I think he'll do it. There's a few people jumping into the race, trying to, Zach Malamed, a co-founder of Democratic Donor Network Next 50, is announcing his candidacy for the same seat. Also, former Democratic State Senator Anna Kaplan, Josh Lafazan, a former county legislator, law professor Will Murphy, Kellen Curry, a Republican veteran in the war in Afghanistan who worked at JP Morgan. But did he, though? Did he actually serve? Is he like, was it Afghanistan in Central Asia or like Afghanistan, Texas? Is there an Afghanistan, Texas? There's an Afghanistan, Paris, Texas. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't believe anyone now. I'm going to need to interrogate your record.
Like, why? I mean, perhaps I'm being, naive and perhaps I'm misremembering the past, but I do remember perhaps it was pre-fairness doctrine. So before 1987, which I do remember, that's how old I am. I do remember there was a time in which there was scrutiny on these kinds of things. Now, it was within a wider scope. It wasn't only that, and nothing was being done. There was always smoke and mirrors. But I feel as though this scrutiny has gone very much to the wayside, similar to just like echoing sort of the general tone of what Bill was talking about earlier, where it's like, it's just the post-90s, all bets are off. It's like Fox News comes into the picture. We're not talking about those things anymore. And then it just like leads us down this path to someone who can just cash in. I mean, why not? I mean, we've got guys that just cashed in on the Supreme Court, like all debts are paid, get in there, do what we want, Brett.
Exactly. He's the Speaker of the House. The House leader is not asking him to resign. Yeah. He lied about everything, and he did drag. Oh my God, River. He also did drag.
That wasn't him, though.
Was it not?
Remember?
It was... Was it not? Did I?
No, he was saying it wasn't him. I was also just thinking yesterday about Madison Cawthorn being
oh my
booted,
God,
you know, and I don't come down on anything between the two. Just interesting to look at those two and go, wow, interesting that they booted Madison Cawthorn, but they did not boot. They're not willing to boot George Santos. Perhaps it's just a timing thing and feeling like dwindling numbers or not wanting to lose any numbers this far down the road. But like, I'm shocked. I mean, I guess also this George Santos makes a great Republican player, I think, as a gay man for that reason, because the mainstreaming of cisgender gay people I
forgot that he was gay. Yes,
I know. And his willingness to fight an anti-trans fight and pull that whole magnet it's not great.
Well, and his seat is swing, right? Like that's why. Like Cawthorn was replaced by another Republican, and also George Santos knows when to keep his mouth shut about those orgies, you know, those congressional orgies, whereas Cawthorn did not. What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/Bitchuation Room. Do it.